What is up, gamers? It's your boy MtG here, back with another Magic the Gathering deck tech and gameplay video. And today we're going to be doing a Naya mid-range, slightly kind of like an aggro deck. I'm going to call it an aggressive mid-range deck, but that is not important. I do have a little bit of an announcement to make before we jump into the deck tech, and that is we are coming up on 500 subscribers, and I want to say thank you guys so much for subscribing and supporting me for the past couple of months, weeks, however long you've been subscribed to me. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's very encouraging to see that people are actually enjoying my content, so thank you for that. And the announcement is that at 500 subs, I'm going to be making a community Discord so that people can talk about Magic the Gathering, talk about new decks, suggest things, even and also like direct challenge each other so we can just like play together, and you can play against me so I can test out decks on you guys as guinea pigs. So if you're interested in that, leave a comment below to express your excitement. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. I would really appreciate that. And let's now get into the video. Okay, guys, so basically we're doing, I'm going to say it's closer to an aggro deck because we have a lot of aggro pieces, right? We've got like Legion Warboss, Spellbreaker, and Domri, Anarch, and Bolas. So the main thing we want to do is get Llanowar Elves out on turn 1, and then on turn 2 we want to be playing one of our 3-drops, either Legion Warboss or Gruul Spellbreaker. Depending on what we see from our opponent, we probably want to be playing Legion Warboss, but sometimes we do want to play Gruul Spellbreaker instead. Now, and the other things in the 3 slot that we have are Domri, Anarch of Bolas, and Vivien, Champion of the Wild. We play 3 Domri because we want to play a little bit aggressive, right? This gives our creatures +1/+0, and this actually allows us to have a little bit more mana at our disposal so that we can play these bigger creatures that we're running, but also so that we can make sure that even if our Llanowar Elves dies, we're still able to cast our like 4 drops and 3 drops consistently. And he functions as a little bit of removal. If our opponent's got blockers, we can minus on Domri to have one of our creatures fight one of their creatures. So that's really nice. But we also have 1 Vivien, Champion of the Wilds, because this allows us to play creatures with flash, which is actually pretty helpful since we're running mostly creatures in this deck. But also, her -2 allows us to exile creature cards so we can play them later, because sometimes we do run into hand size problems, right? Where we're playing, we don't have cards in a hand to cast, is what I'm trying to say. So that's an issue. If you're playing this in a more aggressive strategy, you can actually play Light Up the Stage to exile cards that you can play then in the next turn, or even that turn, whatever. It allows us to have cards at our disposal to play instead of just trying to draw cards and top decking well, especially against Dimir and things that are going to be countering and making us discard cards, because that can be very annoying. So that's why Vivien is nice, because you exile the creature instead of putting it into your hand. But other than that, we don't have any draw mechanics, so we want to be winning early. So that's why we're playing it a little more aggressive. So we do have 4 Llanowar Elves, 4 Shocks for early game removal. This is especially helpful against mono red because this clears Lava Runners, Pyromancers. It even gets rid of Runaway Steamkins on turn 1 or 2, depending on how long they've stayed on the board. We also run Lightning Strikes to get rid of, again, Steamkins and Goblin Chain Whirlers, but these are also very helpful in removing Planeswalkers, because Lava Coil does not hit Planeswalkers, which is why we're not playing Lava Coil in the main deck. That's a good sideboard option, but we'll talk about some other things later. We run 4 Growth Chamber Guardians because this is just a monster. This is so good because it can become a 4/4 very easily and puts a card into our hand, which is very, very helpful. So even if our opponent is killing these, we can keep on putting them into our hand to make sure we have cards to play. The one thing we do have to keep in mind is not to trigger this or not to proc this when our opponent has mana up, if we think they might have a Shock or a Lightning Strike, or even like a Cast Down or something like that, to kill this before we get the counters, because that will make us feel very sad. We also have 3 Thorn Lieutenants, because this is very helpful, especially in a metagame where Teferi Time Raveler is super prevalent in those control or mid-range decks, where he's going to be sending creatures back to our hand. If he tries to do that to Thorn Lieutenant, he puts it back in our hand, and we get a warrior creature token, which is very nice. So anytime somebody tries to remove Thorn Lieutenant with a single target removal, we do get a token in exchange, basically. So that's very nice. We have 4 Legion Warboss because this is a really good aggressive strategy. Getting this down on turn 2 with a Llanowar Elf is super good. This is like such a good Oh my gosh, I can't express to you exactly how good that is, especially when we get a Domri next turn, you know. Gruul Spellbreaker is also very nice. This gives us hexproof, so we're protected from things like Settle the Wreckage and whatnot. Also, this helps us against decks that are playing Chandra, which is very nice. We play one copy of Knight of Autumn, and this is mainly for the mono-red matchup because, first of all, the life gain is nice, but mainly we want to use this to get rid of Experimental Frenzy, because if we make it, you know, we have enough blockers that we can survive to the mid to late game against mono-red, but if they get an Experimental Frenzy down, we can be in trouble, so that's why we have Knight of Autumn to get rid of that. Now, in the 4 slot, we have 2 Aurelias and 2 Shalais. So basically we want to be getting Angels down later on in the game. Aurelia is very nice to get on turn 3 or 4 to make our creatures bigger, whether that's a Gruul Spellbreaker or a Legion Warboss. Doesn't make much difference, honestly. We want to give more damage to our creatures, so that's really nice. And this has Mentor, which is also pretty good. Shalai gives us and our Planeswalkers and our creatures hexproof, which is super good right now. This doesn't protect us from sweepers, which is a bummer, so we do have to watch out for Ritual of Soot, Kaya's Wrath, and things like that. But we also have Lyra Dawnbringer, which is great in the in a lot of matchups. This is really nice in a lot of matchups, especially in against other mid-rangey decks where we need this life gain and we need this first striker. That's just really good, and this doesn't get hit by Cast Down or Lava Coil, so that's very important to keep in mind. That's really all I have to talk about the main board. I don't even look at my mana base. It's pretty crappy, but you want to make sure, what you need to make sure you get is a Llanowar Elves on turn 1. Of course, you don't always have this in your hand on turn 1, but we do want to make sure we get a green source early. So just remember that. Now, sideboard options that are kind of interesting. We could run an Immortal Sun, because the main reason, if we did run an Immortal Sun, we would probably get rid of Vivien, because her triggered abilities are better, but Domri is not, his abilities are not as important as his passive that gives our creatures +1/+0, and this can really shut down those control decks that we play against. So this is a good sideboard option, or potentially a main board option if you really think it's necessary. One thing you might want to consider is a Runic Armasaur. This is a card that gets like no play, and haven't really tested this, but it is helpful in decks like Mardu or Orzhov Aristocrats, that are going to be playing a lot of oh my gosh, Priest of Forgotten Gods. I've run into issues with Priest of Forgotten Gods decks, so that's why Runic Armasaur is nice, because this allows us to draw cards when those abilities are activated. So this is very helpful. It is a little bit slow. It's a little bit slow, but in decks where we're going to be running out of cards, this is also pretty nice. Other things you might want to consider is Lava Coils. You might want to consider Chandras, or even Experimental Frenzy, because that can actually be pretty helpful in this deck. We're a little bit more mid-rangey than aggro. If you're playing this in a more aggro way, you could actually speed this deck up by cutting these 4-drops and 5-drops out and putting in Experimental Frenzies. So I think that's all I need to talk about. Let's get into some gameplay. So we are going to be playing this in Ranked today, and I'm in Platinum, maybe Plat 4 or 3, I can't remember. I'm in low Platinum right now. So the competition is going to be fairly steep. So we get to see kind of how this deck is competitively. This is built to be a pretty competitive deck. It's not super memey. Oh, geez. This is pretty bad, actually, because we don't have a green mana source, and we have to have a green mana source to make this deck work. So I'm going to go ahead and mulligan that. And holy crap, this is even worse. This is horrible. I mean, we kind of have to mulligan again. Mulligan to 5, and if... Oh my gosh, what is happening? In all of my practice games, my mana was wonderful. So we have to just pray that we top deck a green mana source here, so we can play. And we're going against mono red, which Growth Chamber Guardian is not real good against mono red, so this is going to be a pain in my bahonkus. Well, we get a Temple Garden. I'm not going to shock this in, because if I shock it in for Growth Chamber Guardian, he probably just dies anyway. So we're just going to play that tapped and see what we draw into now. Mono red is not a wonderful matchup for us, because they have too much removal for Llanowar Elves and Growth Chamber Guardians. We do have a couple of good options against mono red. Yeah, I can't really play Llanowar Elves because he dies to Fanatical Firebrand, so I gotta go Growth Chamber Guardian here, which is a pretty good blocker, but he's probably just gonna get shocked and we lose. That's my guess. Even a Lightning Strike gets rid of him. Okay, Lava Runner. Lava Runner. Shock. There it is. Okay, that's horrible. They're running out of cards in hand, which is kind of nice. And we can get another Growth Chamber Guardian down here. It's not looking good for us, though. This is not looking good. Oh, double mulligan against mono red and you're not getting your lands is really, really bad. If they even have a lightning strike here, I'm just going to concede. Like, there's not much we can do at this point. Yep, there it is. Okay, I mean that's the game. We don't have anything in hand to stop them. So let's go ahead and concede, so we can actually see how this deck performs if we don't have a terrible starting hand. All right, back into it. Back into it. That was not a good first game to showcase this deck. So sorry, whoopsie. Okay, here we go against Giafantaz. What is happening? I've never not started with green mana sources. I'm actually going to keep this because I'm tired of mulliganing. So I'm going to keep this and play a... I think I actually probably go Mountain first. Just so we can have a shock up and at the ready for whatever they put down. Like, we have a lot of green mana sources in this deck. I don't remember the exact number off the top of my head, but this is very surprising. The odds for this are not good. Come on, mate. All right, Giafantaz. Is something wrong? I was actually, well, I have a little break here to talk. I was actually playing this deck against Theoric6 on his stream earlier when he was playing with viewers. And I don't remember exactly what he was playing. It was like a proliferate Phyrexian Scriptures deck, and we kind of ran him over, so that was fun. Okay. Now, if he plays a Skymarcher Aspirant, we're not too worried about Skymarcher Aspirant at this point. So let's pass, and please can we get... Not that. Holy crap. So we can get Legion Warboss down on turn 3, but this is a really slow start, and we can't play anything with green in it, because this is horrible. Lawrwood Enforcer, that's what we want to get rid of. Dauntless Bodyguard. I'm going to go ahead and shock Lawrwood Enforcer just in case he puts Indestructible on it. Because Lawrwood Enforcer is a piece of crap. We hate that. Okay, so at least we slowed them down. Lawrwood Enforcer is a super good addition to Mono White in War of the Spark. It's a very good budget option as well. Like, honestly, the like top versions of Mono White are playing Lawrwood Enforcer, which I find very interesting. Because it's good. It's just good. Against any creature deck, that's very good. All right, mate. They are playing so slow. I don't know if their connection is bad or something. I don't know what's going on with them. Okay, so we can... Oh my gosh. We want to draw lands, but not red sources. We want all green sources, please. I want to be able to play my Domri. And my Growth Chamber Guardian, please. Opponent, you gotta resolve this, my man. This is why you don't play Dauntless Bodyguard, just because of the trigger. You have to resolve everything because of it. It has a sacrifice trigger. So we have to attack with the token, and I'm sure they're going to take the damage. I'd be very surprised if they blocked here. That would be pretty dumb. So we attack with a 1/1, and we're open to a little damage next turn, but not real worried about that. Oh my gosh, opponent, you have to speed up this game. You're playing so slowly. I try not to get so triggered by people playing slow, but like, come on. It's not even like you're thinking, you're just not passing whatchamacallit, priority. It would be really nice if I could play my Domri this turn. So we go no blocks here. Alright, opponent, you don't have anything to do. The only thing you could possibly do is sacrifice your Dauntless Bodyguard, which you don't want to do. Oh, hey, green source. Okay, we're going to actually shock this in to finally play our Domri Anarch of Bolas. And then, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pass to combat. He's going to create a token that's going to attack. And then I'm assuming he's not going to block with the knight, so he'll take 2 damage, and then I'll have that token, the tapped token, fight the knight here. Which means we're probably going to lose our Domri next turn, but I'm really not that concerned with that. Yeah, we have to attack with you. I'm going to keep these back as blockers. Okay, and then we will minus target a creature I control, and then target a creature I don't control. Okay, so we're in actually a pretty good place because we can play Lyra Dawnbringer next turn, which is... Lyra Dawnbringer is so good. The only problem that we'll run into is if they have a Conclave Tribunal to play on Lyra, which will be very annoying, and is something that Mono White definitely runs. There's a Conclave Tribunal. Probably playing it on my Domri, which is actually pretty dumb, in my opinion. They could have just attacked and killed him. So, not a real smart move there. Because I still have this Goblin token up as a blocker. And they're going to wish they still had a Conclave Tribunal when I play my Lyra Dawnbringer, so... Sorry, dude! We're just drawing lands, which is awesome. Let's pass to combat here. To maybe tempt them into taking the 1 damage instead of blocking, just in case I have a combat trick. So we'll only attack with 1. I don't want to lose my Legion Warboss here. Yeah, so he takes the 1 damage, which is what I was hoping for. I know that's cheeky. We only get 1 damage out of that, but this is, I think that was the way to do it, is to keep my mana up so they think I may have a combat trick. So we are fine unless they have a Conclave Tribunal here. Because this lifelink first strike is so good for us. God Eternal Oketra. Very interesting. Interesting, for sure. Okay. I'm hoping actually we can top deck a Domri here because that would be very nice. Of course, just top deck exactly what we need. God Eternal Oketra hurts us pretty bad. Lightning Strike is a thing. And I think we can actually make this work pretty well. So if they attack with God Eternal and we block her with Lyra, we can play Lightning Strike and actually kill God Eternal without losing our Lyra here before the second damage phase. So this is actually pretty okay. We'll pass turn. Well, I'll attack with my 1/1 here. I'm not going to attack with Lyra because I need a blocker for God Eternal. And they may not even attack with God Eternal, but I'm not in a position to, like, let that happen, so. Okay, so they block with the Knight. My guess is they actually don't attack with God Eternal, just because they want the value from the creature tokens they're going to make. Gideon Blackblade, huh? That's a bummer. They can probably give God Eternal, wait a second. Prevent all damage that will be dealt to Gideon Blackblade during your turn. Wait, as long as it's your turn. Yikes. Okay, resolve all. So they're probably going to put Dauntless Bodyguard on God Eternal, if I had to guess. Which hurts. Yeah, I've chosen God Eternal Oketra. So everything they have is on the board right now, which... What are you going to give it? Lifelink? Probably Lifelink, if I had to guess. Indestructible. Why would you double up Indestructible on God Eternal? There's no reason for that. You should have probably given it Lifelink. If it was me, I would have done that. Yeah, I block with 1 Goblin token. We're in a bit of a predicament here. Past first strike damage. Yeah. At least she doesn't have trample. Vivien, Champion of the Wilds. Okay, so we can give Lyra Vigilance here, which is actually really nice.
How this thing goes is up to you.
And I can kill their Gideon Blackblade. With my Lyra Dawnbringer, because I can Lightning Strike Sky Marcher Aspirant. Which was chosen by Dauntless Bodyguard. Darn it. I have forgot about the other Dauntless Bodyguard. Shoot. Yeah, well, that's a real shame. And it has Indestructible for the whole turn. That sucks. Okay, whatever. We'll at least gain some life out of this. So it'll put us back to 17. And we'll attack Gideon here. Whew, this is an interesting matchup. Okay, so we're back to 17. We have another Goblin to block God Eternal, but they can start attacking with Gideon, which hurts us pretty bad. Ooh, we may not be able to win this matchup right now. Conclave Tribunal probably on Lyra. Yeah, okay, that's going to be game. There's nothing we can do really at this point. Gideon and God Eternal are too good right now, so we'll concede that one. Still, we are running into mana issues really badly. We've got to get our early Llanowar Elves, which we have not seen yet at all. We haven't seen our forests or our Llanowar Elves. I don't know where they're hiding in the deck. They're hiding somewhere. So hopefully we can actually do this thing. All right, here we go. Game number 3 against Take. Hot Cheetos and Takis. Hot Cheetos. Oh yeah, heck yeah. Okay, so we can actually play our Llanowar Elves into either a Vivien or a Gruul Spellbreaker, depending on what we see here. Probably going to want to go Gruul Spellbreaker. So mono white. And they're showing Healer's Hawk. Okay, so let's play... Yeah, let's go Gruul Spellbreaker with a +1 counter here. And then we can play Vivien next turn and give this both Vigilance and Reach, which will be very nice. Or we could just Lightning Strike their... Oh, why would you do that? We will... Oh, I see. You know, we're going to play Llanowar Elves and then Lightning Strike their Ajani's Pridemate to get rid of... Go ahead and get rid of that before it gets beefy. Because after next turn, it becomes a 4/4, which we just can't really deal with. So let's go ahead and attack for 5. Take him to 16. Yeah, Vivien is actually pretty good against this. It's like they're going to mono white life gain aggro here. I assume Dawn's Bodyguard on the Healer's Hawk. So good thing we played Lightning Strike when we did. They've got a lot of life gain. Okay, I'm a little scared of a Law Rune Enforcer. Oh, hello, Lyra Dawnbringer. If I shocked this in, I could play Lyra Dawnbringer, but I think I need to go Vivien instead for now. And then, so we'll go Vivien, and we'll actually we're gonna +1 to give Spellbreaker Vigilance and Reach, so it can block the Healer's Hawk.
I've seen puppies whine less than you.
And we can easily play Lyra Dawnbringer next turn, and hopefully still be able to minus Vivien to pick up some extra cards. Okay, so they're gaining life. That's fine. Let's see. The thing is, if we attack with Spellbreaker, it can die because it doesn't have Indestructible. So we're going to minus Vivien to try to pick up some extra cards. Some extra creatures. Aurelia is... oh, I love that. So we're going to go ahead and just play Lyra Dawnbringer here. Straight up. And not attack or anything, because I don't really want to attack with Gruul Spellbreaker if it can die. Well, actually, I am going to attack with Gruul Spellbreaker, because if they play like because if they block it, it'll kill all their creatures, and this may force them to play like and give my creatures an indestructible spell, like a Unbreakable Formation. Oh, or they just take 4 damage, and I've got a blocker for Healer's Hawk and whatever else they might throw at me. So we Gucci. We are Gucci. And once I put Aurelia on the field, I can give Lyra Vigilance so she can be attacking in every turn. Why did you do that? What? Oh, Cleansing Nova. Smart. Nice. Very nice. So we can get Aurelia down. And I've literally never seen a mono white deck play Cleansing Nova. That is maybe smart. It's interesting, at least. I'm going to go ahead and minus her again. We can't play any of these because they're not creatures, so we'll just exile that and then play Mountain. I am beyond surprised by the Cleansing Nova right there. Wait, cancel. Let's go ahead and play... I mean, Legion Warboss, I think we play Knight of Autumn to give it counters so it can block the Leon and War Leader. I mean, there's...
The mysteries of life are endless.
Yeah, we give you Vigilance and Trample anyway, so let's just attack. We attack for 4. They've got a little bit of life gain, and they can potentially kill my Vivien here if they attack all, but I kill their creatures as well, so I'm not real worried about that. They might have an Unbreakable Formation. Okay. Smart. And Vigilance. I forget that they get Vigilance with Unbreakable Formation. That's actually really good with Leon and War Leader. So, I mean, yeah, I let this happen. Their tokens don't have Indestructible. So I can block them. And they die. But my Vivien is dead, though.
Not again.
Alright, we go ahead and get down our Shalai here to give our puppies... Yeah, I'm just going to attack with you. Alright, they are out of cards. They've been flooding pretty badly. So I'm expecting a dub there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, finally we got them to concede. That Cleansing Nova was so surprising. I guess they're doing like an off-meta mono white thing, which I applaud them for. This didn't really work out very well. They didn't have any way to draw cards as far as I could see. So let's play one more game. These have all been fairly quick, so hopefully we can get another good one in here. Those first couple games were not so good. TBH. They did not showcase this deck very well. One of the major problems I will say about this deck is that my mana base is not as good as it needs to be playing these colors, honestly. I really want to make Naya midrange a good deck, but I think you have to really get your shock lands right if you're gonna do it. So we can actually do this fairly well here. We can go. They are mulliganing to 5, which is good. I'm actually going to. I'm going to shock that in at risk of paying for that if we're playing mono red, but we'll see what they got. I wanted to have the shock ready for something. Okay, so as looking like Azorius here. We'll go ahead and get Growth Chamber Guardian in now. The question becomes on the next turn, are we going to want to Legion Warboss or potential? We have options here. Okay, Gruul Harpooner. Yikes. I think the smart thing to do is to go to combat. If they try to block, which would be dumb, I just adapt Growth Chamber Guardian. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead. I can't speak. I'm going to go ahead and adapt him here. I could have shocked their Gruul Harpooner, but I think it's not as important to do that yet. I kind of want to see what else they've got. So they're playing Bant here. Night of Autumn. Okay, they're probably going to put counters on that. Yep. Okay, so they're doing like an aggressive Bant thing here, which is pretty good. I could play Shalai, but I could also play Gruul Spellbreaker as a 4/4. I think I play this aggressive, though. I'm going to go ahead and attack. And if they block with Night of Autumn, so be it. I'm not really that concerned with it. Yeah, that's fine. And then I go Spellbreaker as a 4/4. Then end the turn. So I still have a shock up for the Gruul Harpooner or some other threat that might come in here. Militia Bugler. I'm not real concerned with a Militia Bugler. Resolve. Prime Speaker Vannifar. Okay, so they're going Bant Vannifar, which is awesome. I love that. I love this deck. Okay. They're going to want to sack Militia Bugler once Vannifar comes on the field. I think at the end of their turn, I'm probably just going to shock the Gruul Harpooner to make room for me to attack. Past end of combat. For my turn, I go shock on Gruul Harpooner. So we have another shock here, actually. Okay, here's what we can do. This is fun. We'll go Legion Warboss. Pass to combat. Attack all. And since we have shock here, we can shock Militia Bugler and get him out of the way so that he will die to this token and take 4 damage. And so now they don't have another sack outlet for their Prime Speaker Vannifar once she hits the field. And so we are Gucci Mane at this point. Let's go ahead and play our Shalai. I think let's attack first. No, not Legion Warboss. Why did you click? So we don't attack with Legion Warboss because I don't want him to die to Prime Speaker Vannifar. Let's get Shalai on the field so they can't do anything wonky to us. They could potentially have a board wipe. They could be playing Time Wipe in this deck. Fibblethip the Lost. Okay, my guess is they probably sack Fibblethip here to play something slightly bigger. Yep. But that kind of leaves them vulnerable because they have only the one blocker. Tristani. Okay, Tristani Discordant is... ouch. Okay, so they take my Shalai. Which, it hurts. It hurts me. Do we... I think we... No, we let this come in tapped because we still have mana for for that. And then we go to combat here. We take him to 2. And then we go Growth Chamber Guardian. Tristani Discordant screws us over pretty hard. And since I would love to draw a Lightning Strike for this Deputy of Detention, that would be pretty nice. Yeah, just Tristani screws us because she makes them stronger and gives them 2/2 lifelinkers right now. Interesting. Surprised they didn't want to attack with... Well, I guess I would have adapted and killed it, so... They get a 4/4 Spark Double. Oh, nice. Okay. Well played. What did you... Creature drop... Why is this a 2/2? It should be a 3/6? Oh, no, I see. It's a 1... Okay, I get it now. Resolve. This is a big yikes right here. That is a yikes. Well, okay. Yeah. We want that. Alright, I mean, if we top deck a Shock or a Lightning Strike, this is actually pretty decent. It's pretty decent, I guess. We make you fight a Tristani. So we get that out of the way, which is actually pretty good, pretty nifty. The bummer of this is that we're forced to let them gain life with these puppies right here, which makes me kind of sad. Because now they're out of danger of a Lightning Strike or a Shock to the face. Then we'll go... I'm pretty sure they're not playing any... Dang, we need to get rid of Prime Speaker Vanifar. If we... Oh, I wish we'd been able to kill Prime Speaker Vanifar. I think we go Knight of Autumn here. Put counters on her. Ah, jeez. So, yeah, they go Fibblethip. This is terrible. Holy crap. We were a bit too slow for this deck, and we did not have removal for Prime Speaker Vanifar, which makes me super sad. Yeah, the sack Fibblethip to play probably Militia Bugler, if I had to guess. Yeah, another Militia Bugler. So they put a creature into their hand, potentially. A Llanowar Elves, which, even though it's only a 1/1, it will still make them a zombie warrior. Oh my god. This is so dumb. Yeah, we'll go Llanowar Elves. I mean, we haven't completely lost yet, right? Like, the game is not ogre completely. I don't like this, but, whatevs. It's probably ogre. Yeah, we'll go ahead and end the turn. I mean, we've got blockers for most of their stuff right now. I don't have a way to get rid of Prime Speaker Vanifar, and that just gives them so much value, like a ridiculous amount of value. And there's a Shalai that makes us lose the game, I think. I think that's a game. We got him to 2 life. We got him to 2 freaking life. Yeah, resolve. Yeah, you get your zombie tokens, main. Their board is so wide. Their board is so wide. Don't do this to me. Sacrifice Militia Bugler to get what? What else do you run at the 4 slot? Shalai? Oh, Spark Double. Well, crap. Spark Double is like it looks all funky the first time it comes on the board. Yeah, we block here with Chungus. Let's see. Yeah, I think we just block here with Llanowar Elf. And then... Wait, Hexproof Vigilance, not indestructible. Okay. I feel like we got to keep our Domri alive, but... Whatever, I think we lose anyway, so it doesn't really make much difference. Yeah. Probably going to concede after this. Pass to damage, mate. Wait, nope. We want to adapt you. Go get that Growth Chamber Guardian. Yep, our last one. Did our other one die? Yeah, I guess so. There's the lightning strike we needed. And they've all got hexproof, so... I mean, we literally can't do anything to them because they've got double Shalais here. Wow, that was awesome. That was actually such a cool deck to go up against. I'm glad you guys got to see that. It ran me over. Well, it didn't completely run me over. We got him to 2. We were a shock away from killing him. But, I mean, what can you do? What can you do when they've got double Shalais on the field? Anyway, that's going to be it for this deck tech. If you enjoyed this, please drop a like on this video. And if you have suggestions for what to play in the future, also put them in the comments below. And I hope to see you in the future in that Discord that has not been created yet. Adios, everybody.